Today, we are going to discuss about the dimension analysis or the application of dimension analysis and some example. So what exactly the dimension analysis in the heat transfer operation? Dimensional analysis is a method of correlating a number of variables into a single equation expressing an effect. So the number of variables or parameters like density, viscosity, etc. can be converted into a single equation. So that technique is nothing but the dimensional analysis. Why it is called as dimensional analysis? Because it involves the dimensionless groups, and these dimensionless groups involve indirectly number of parameters or dimensions in different equations. That is why it is called as dimensional analysis. When a value of given particular physical quantity is influenced by a number of variables. Suppose a physical quantity may be anything. That may be heat transfer coefficient, that may be density, that may be viscosity, etc. If this physical quantity is influenced by a number of variables like parameters, that may be velocity, diameter, length, etc., then it is impossible to determine their individual effect. So when we are conducting some experiments, when we are conducting some research, then we have to go through number of experiments. So in this number of experiments, when some output is changing, some result is changing, then we have to conclude something. So to conclude that, we must know due to which parameter this effect or this result is changing. So for that purpose, it is impossible to determine each and every parameter for these results. So experimentally, it is very difficult as well as it is not affordable to any company. And for these cases, this dimension analysis is used. So the what is application of this dimension analysis? The variables, that is parameters or factors, are arranged in a dimensionless groups. Now these variables like velocity, length, diameter, viscosity, density, acceleration due to gravity, thermal expansion coefficient, thermal conductivity, etc. So all these variables, whatever the number are there, so these variables are converted into less dimensionless groups. Less means it is significantly, the number is less as compared to this variable. Say for example, if 9 variables are present in that particular equation, then we have to convert into at least 4 to 5 dimensionless groups. So this 4 to 5 dimensionless group is lesser than this number of variables. So if we convert these variables into less dimensionless groups, then it is simpler to have these calculations or to judge the effect of a particular dimensionless group or to judge the effect of a particular parameter on that experiment's results, right? So this is the main application. In dimension analysis, variables are arranged in dimensionless groups which are significantly less than the number of variables. Its application is in many areas of chemical engineering, such as fluid flow operations, heat transfer, mass transfer, transport phenomena, etc. So there are lots of applications of this dimension analysis in the chemical engineering sector. Let us take the example so that you can understand what exactly the dimension analysis is, what exactly this method does, and how this number of variables are converted into dimensionless groups, right? So take the example, that is the rate of heat transfer per unit area. So the rate of heat transfer per unit area, it is called as heat flux. Rate of heat transfer per unit area depends on, so this heat flux, it depends on number of variables, that is viscosity, density, specific heat, thermal conductivity, linear dimension, that is length, velocity of fluid, that is small u, temperature difference delta T, beta thermal expansion coefficient, small g acceleration due to gravity. So say for example, in this case, the heat flux depends on these number of variables, right? So that may be mu, density, Cp, K, L, U, delta T, beta, G, etc. Now our objective should be, we have to convert this number of variables into some dimensionless groups, right? So this relationship of this heat flux and this number of variable can be written as Q by A is equal to proportionality constant, that is alpha, in bracket small u, that is velocity, raised to small a. So these A, B, C, D are the empirical constants now. So this u is velocity raised to a, L is length raised to b, rho is density raised to c, Cp is specific heat raised to small d, delta T is temperature difference raised to e, beta is thermal coefficient, and G is acceleration due to gravity. So this bracket indicates the product of thermal expansion coefficient and acceleration due to gravity, both raised to F, K thermal conductivity raised to I, and mu viscosity raised to M. It means this equation indicates that the heat flux is depends on these variables. This heat flux and the variable relationship can be written in terms of some empirical constants, and that empirical constant are raised to that particular variable, right? So this is the relationship where heat flux is depends on these parameters: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there are 8 parameters. Now we must convert these, sorry, 9 parameters. We must convert these 9 parameters or the variables into 4 to 5 dimensionless group. That is the objective of this dimensionless analysis. So this dimensional analysis gives us the idea how to do that. Now first of all, the basic requirement for the dimensional analysis is that you must know the units of each and every term. Say for example, this is Q by A. So the unit of Q by A is what? So this heat is in terms of watt or it is joules per second, right? So normally we use this watt unit. So that watt is nothing but joules per second. Now the unit of area is meter square, right? So joules per second per meter square. Now we have to convert all these units in terms of some dimensions like length, mass, theta, that is time, temperature, and heat. So this length is indicated by capital L, mass is indicated by capital M, time is indicated by theta, temperature is indicated by capital T, and heat is indicated by H. So all these units or the dimensions, that is like joules per second per meter square, these are the units or dimensions. So these dimensions are going to convert into Lm theta Th terms, right? So that is again the sub objective. So we have to convert these units or dimensions in terms of these dimensions. So joules, that is nothing but the unit of heat. So it is H per second. So it is time. So it is per second, that is why theta raised to -1. Then it is meter square. So length unit is meter and the area unit is meter square. That is why it is written as per meter square. So it should be length raised to -2, right? So this joule indicate H, this per second indicate theta raised to -1, and this per meter square indicates length raised to -2, right? So we must know the units of each and every term, and on the basis of these units we can convert these units in terms of this Lm theta T and H term, right? So what is the unit of velocity? The unit of velocity is meter per second. So meter, it means it is the unit of length, so it should be L. Then per second means it is the unit of time, so it should be theta raised to minus 1 because it is per second. Likewise, the length, the unit is meter, so we have to write capital L. Then viscosity, the viscosity unit is kg per ms. So kg means it is the unit of mass, so it should be m. Per meter means per length, so L raised to minus 1. Per second, it means time, that is theta, so it should be theta raised to minus 1. Then density, the unit of density is kg per meter cube. So this kg is nothing but the mass, so it should be m. So this capital M. Then per meter cube, so this length in terms of meter, but it is per meter cube, that is why it is L raised to minus 3. Then in a similar way, thermal conductivity, joules per second per meter Kelvin. So this joules in terms of heat per second, it means theta raised to minus 1. Per meter, it means L raised to minus 1. Per Kelvin, it means temperature raised to minus 1. Then for the specific heat, Cp, joules per kg. So this joules, that is H, per kg, it means M raised to minus 1, and per Kelvin, it means temperature raised to minus 1. Then this delta T, temperature difference in terms of Kelvin, so it is capital T only. Then this beta is the thermal coefficient. So thermal expansion coefficient's unit is K inverse, that is Kelvin inverse. So it is 1 by K, and that is why it is temperature raised to minus 1. Then acceleration due to gravity is meter per second square. So it should be meter, it means L, per second square, it means theta raised to minus 2, right? So we have to convert these units in terms of this L, M, theta, T, and H to get the dimensionless groups. So this is the first step, that you should know the relationship between this heat flux and other parameters. Then you should know the units of each and every parameter, that is this Q by E, Q by A, then velocity, length, density, Cp, delta T, beta, G, K, mu. So if you know these, the units of all these parameters, then that unit should be converted into Lm theta Th, right? So this is the first step. Then you should put these parameters or these Lm theta Th numbers in the equation. Now please observe this. So I will give you some example. This is Q by A. So this joules per second per meter square. Now it is HL raised to minus 2, theta raised to minus 2. So this Q by A should be written as H into L raised to minus 2, theta raised to minus 1. So I have written here this equation, the left hand side of this Q by A. So this Q by A is now H into L raised to minus 2, theta raised to minus 1. And like that, you have to convert or write all these parameters in terms of these different parameters in terms of Lm theta Th, right? So this velocity, now it is L into theta raised to minus 1. So you have to write this L into theta raised to minus 1 here, right? So this L into theta raised to minus 1 raised to A. So I have written here L into theta raised to minus 1 raised to A. right? So this velocity is in terms of L into theta raised to minus 1. So I have written this L into theta raised to minus 1 and bracket raised to A, because in the equation it is given as U raised to A, right? Then for L, so L raised to B, so L is capital L, this small l is capital L, so this is capital L raised to B. Then this density rho raised to C, so this rho is nothing but m into L raised to minus 3. So I have written here m into L raised to minus 3 and bracket raised to C. Then Cp raised to D. So this Cp raised to D. So what is Cp? Here h into m raised to minus 1, t raised to minus 1. So I have written h into m raised to minus 1, t raised to minus 1, bracket raised to d. Then in the equation, delta t raised to e. So this delta t is nothing but k, that is t. So this delta t as t raised to e, right? Then this bracket beta into g, bracket raised to f. So this beta g in terms of this TL theta, t raised to minus 1, L theta raised to minus 2. So this beta g in terms of t raised to minus 1, L theta raised to minus 2 raised to f. Then k raised to I. So that k thermal conductivity. Now it is H L raised to minus 1, theta raised to minus 1 and temperature raised to minus 1. So this is k H L raised to minus 1, theta raised to minus 1, temperature raised to minus 1, bracket raised to I. Then in equation, last term is mu raised to m. So what is mu? So here mu is m L raised to minus 1, theta raised to minus 1. So I have written m L raised to minus 1, theta raised to minus 1, bracket raised to m. So what I have written here, so all these parameters or the variables in terms of Lm theta th on left hand side as well as on the right hand side. So this is the next step in the dimension analysis, where I have written all these parameters in Lm theta th, right? So what is next step? So after writing all these variables in terms of Lm theta th, we have to separate out the indices of a specific parameters. Say for example, first is length. Now if I took a length as a first dimension, then I have to observe this L on the left hand side as well as on the right hand side. So in the left hand side, L raised to minus 2. So we have to equate these indices, right? So L raised to minus 2, that is why I have written here minus 2. So here L raised to minus 2. So I have written here these indices of L minus 2. On the right hand side, this L raised to A. So it is A. Then here L raised to B. So here plus B. Then L raised to minus 3 and C. So it should be minus 3C. Then here L is absent, here L is absent, here L raised to F. So here plus F. Then here L raised to minus 1 and I. So it should be minus I, because this indices minus 1 into I is minus I. Then L raised to minus 1 raised to M. So it should be minus M. So we have to write these indices of a particular dimension from LHS as well as from RHS. And I have write this indices from LHS as well as from RHS for L. In the similar way, we have to observe these indices for mass, theta, that is time, temperature, and heat. So let us check where the m is. So in this case, on the left hand side, there is no m, so it should be 0. Now in this case, there is no m, here no m, now here m. So this m raised to c, right? Then here m raised to -1 and d. So it should be minus d. Then here no m, no m, no m. Now here m raised to m. So here small m, right? So this in terms of m, it is 0 equal to c minus d plus m. Let us take the next dimension, that is theta time. On the left hand side, theta raised to -1. So it should be -1 equal to theta raised to -1a minus a. Now here no theta, here no theta, here no theta, here no theta. Now here theta raised to -2f, -2f. Now here theta raised to -1 I, minus I. Now here theta raised to -1 into m, that is minus m. Now in terms of theta, it becomes -1 equal to minus a minus 2f minus I minus m. Now in terms of temperature, T, on the left hand side, there is no T, so it should be 0. Now on the right hand side, here no T, here no T, here no T. Now here T raised to -1 into D. So it is minus D. Then here T raised to E. So here plus E. Here T raised to -1 into F. So it should be minus F. Now here T raised to -1 into I. So minus I. Now here no T. So in terms of temperature, it is 0 equal to minus D plus E minus F minus I. Now in terms of H, on the left hand side, here H is there. So it means H raised to 1. That is indices is 1. Now on the right hand side, here no H, no H, no H. Now here H. H raised to D. So it should be plus D. Here no H, no H. Now here H raised to I. So it should be plus I. Here no H. So in terms of H, it is 1 equal to D plus I. So these are the equations where we have put the indices of LHS and RHS for length, mass, time, temperature, and heat, right? So these are the 5 equations. So here 5 equations, 9 variables. Now we have to convert these 5 equations and 9 variables in terms of 4 dimensionless groups and 3 indices, right? So how to convert these indices, more indices in 3 indices, and these 9 variables or 5 equations in 4 dimensionless group. So we will discuss these points in next lecture.